Hello everyone, my name is Heather Martinez. I'm really excited that you're all here today, and I'm also a little bit nervous because I promised you 5 lettering styles in 5 minutes using 5 different markers. And I'm going to tell you just a second about, just a few minutes, we haven't started the timer yet, right? Okay, wait. I'm going to talk a little bit first. The reason why I wanted to do this is because my thing is that I like to take classes from master calligraphers, graffiti artists, and master sign painters, find out what they do, and then translate that into Nolan markers. And so a lot of people say, how do I make this style, and how do I make this style? And so I translate all those. I'm going to show you those 5 different styles. But I'm nervous because I practiced this about 6 months ago when I had the idea, and the first time I did it, it took me 7 minutes. And then the second time I did it, it took me 4 minutes. So if I'm not doing a lettering style a minute, I need you to cheer me on and tell me, like, go faster, go faster. Because, you know, if you've taken any of my classes, I like to stop and tell you about the letter and all that stuff, okay? So, 5 lettering styles. I'm going to be using the big one, and you can use any color you want. The number 1, the art marker, the fine one, and the fine one brush nib. And if you have a certain nib that you might feel like it's your kryptonite, maybe it's your arch nemesis, maybe you could never figure out the art marker nib, or you couldn't figure out the number 1 wedge, let me know and I'll give you some tips on those, okay? Okay, we're not doing timing just yet. I want to talk about this I want to talk about this stand and work because I just got excited because I noticed I can put my markers down here so I don't have to run back and forth. So can everybody see? If you can't, get in a place where you can. Quick tip, how to open the big one. We pop it with our thumb. Good. And when you're ready, tell me to go.
Okay. And go.
Okay, so I'm going to start out with Nolan Hand, which we know is 4 pin widths high. And I'm going to be working very fast. You can learn Nolan Hand in my free online course called, I have to stop talking for a second. Unlock your Nolan markers at letslettertogether.com. You can also find the exemplars on Nolan's website. If I forget a letter, I expect some of you to tell me which one I forgot, because I don't want to cheat you at all. Uh-oh, you got to go slow on the O. Unlock your Nolan markers. I also have Unlock Your Nolan Markers 2.0 on my, oh crap, I got to go faster. Okay, change of plans. Anyway, go to my Facebook site. That Z is really bad. I got to redo that. Go to my Facebook. Thank you. Go to my Facebook and you'll see Nolan Hand 2.0. For those of you that also know, this is double stroke, first stroke. This is a great lettering style that you can use to quickly bold your rapid capture lettering style. So all I'm doing is the very first stroke that I make, for the most part, some letters have variations, is a double stroke. And then this is really sloppy, but you guys are going to forgive me because I'm behind time. And this is rapid capture. Yay! You'll forgive me if I don't get it, right?
Right.
Okay. Do you want brush letter or sign painter?
Sign painter.
Oh, I gotta go. All right. So sign painter is done with your art marker. It's at an angle. Your C's have a really nice serif. You have a really low X height. I just noticed that this paper was gridded. I wish I would have known that when I started. I would have had a plan. Little P, Q. Oh, ta-da, I'm going to make the R since I skipped it. Watch what I do. Who wants to see a 4-stroke letter S? All right. Ah, here's a 1-stroke. How am I doing? Oh, wow, I'm really tracking well. So, where'd my markers go? Here we go. For those of you, I'm going to go way down here, sorry, because there's this beautiful circle here. For those of you that know Twinkle, how many of you? Okay, we got a Twinkle fan. What is Twinkle? Can somebody talk about Twinkle?
Twinkle's great. It's very festive. You do it with a brush marker. It unlocks a lot of awesome lettering for me.
Yay, thank you. And where can you find it?
Facebook
And?
and your website.
Nope.
Oh, lettering. Oh, wait.
Nope.
What's the thing? Hey,
Nope. You can only find it on Zandra Dirk's website. That was a trick question. So Zandra, tell them your website. I thought this was going to take more room.
what's your website?
Oh, I did the eyes wrong. Oh, crap. Okay, excellent question. I'm going to go back and show this in just a second. Wait, wrong marker. And then the last one is architect. Yay, some of you have taken my architect class. It's online. G-H-I. Can you give me a countdown from 20? This is really fast, guys, so you'll see I'm not perfect when I go fast. And you might also see other, wait, here we go, X, Y, and Z. 20 seconds left. All right. I do have to go back and correct my I and my J. When you make an I and J, you make them into stars.
5, 4,
Yes.
1.
Thank you. All right. And I don't know if Martine is in the house. Is she here? She gave me a tip, so I want to throw a few tips your way. She gave me a tip that when you're writing sign painter, because it slants and because oftentimes we're writing like this, it tends to go down. And that's exactly what I've done, even though I have a grid paper. So this is a great example of what happens when you go fast. When you go fast, what happens? You forget spelling, your lines go up and down, your spacing goes all wrong, but I think they're all still pretty readable. What do you think? Yeah. Okay, so this one here is called Nolan Hand, and this is one that you can learn free. It's not named after this company, even though Nolan makes great products. It's, there's your cap. Oh wait, I'll take that too. It was actually created by Rudolf Koch, and the way that he made this lettering style is he cut the letters out of tin with tin snips. So he didn't draw them, he didn't use a pen. So this looks very different than his originals, but what's wonderful about Nolan Hand is that you can find your own style in it. There's so many different variations. And that's what I like to do, is teach a lot of styles where you can find yourself in it, because we don't need all the graphic recorders in the world writing the same lettering styles, but we can at least have a baseline and improve our confidence and our legibility. So this one's Nolan Hand. This one here is called double stroke, first stroke. It's named what it does, and you put a double stroke on each of the first strokes that you create, except the N or the Z, and there are some variations you can do. On the A, you can flip it and have two strokes on this side, because that's correct for calligraphy, and on the N, you can put the double stroke in the middle. What's that? Excellent. So notice that I did a pen scale for this one. These other lettering styles do not have pen scales. So these two lettering styles are the closest in size, because this is approximately how large I write when I graphic record for my rapid capture. Okay? That's a great question though. So about 1 to 1.5 inches. This lettering style is called Sign Painter. And the reason why I teach Sign Painter is because sign painters have to work quickly, but also because you can learn this style in an hour. I just taught it yesterday in an hour. And then you can teach other lettering artists or other graphic recorders so that you can write alike if you're doing tandem recording. Yep. This lettering style is called Twinkle. It is totally for fun, but I'm sure you can find a use for it. And it's using the Fine One brush tip. And what's fun about this one is it's got serifs everywhere. Those are those little horizontal lines on the terminals of our letters. And I personally like to write with it in either some kind of metallic, and you don't have to use the fine one brush nib. I was just trying to find lettering styles to use with this because a lot of people don't like it or they think it's too flimsy or it's too hard, but this is a great lettering style for it. And I have a scary Halloween lettering style you can find on Facebook that uses this. And then the last one here is Architect. So Architect, again, you can find that on my website. It's a lot like Sign Painter in that it's fast. It's going to improve your handwriting. And again, you can learn it in less than an hour because you actually have, you probably all write somewhat like this. And it's not based on a, what size is it it's based on a square. And so the whole lettering style is based on a square with a very low X height. And notice that each one of these letters has some kind of, it feels like it's going up. That's what that little guide is there. So, yeah. And so you can scale Architect. You can write it with any of these other markers and make it bigger. My handwriting has changed since I started learning these styles. And I would say that it's somewhere between my regular Architect and Sign Painter. So these two are my rapid styles. For those of you who say, well, I want to do all kinds of things with lettering, I can show you those things. But I personally pretty much graphic record using these two. When I graphic record, that's pretty much all that comes out of me. And also brush letter, which we didn't do here, but you can also get that free through the Nolan website or my website. You can certainly double it. You can also use a fat one. No, this is a big one. So you can use a fat one. A 30 millimeter will give you 120 centimeters. So do we have a fat one? Yep. Yeah, the wide one. Yep, you can fill with any color. It's in my kit, so if you go to the Nolan... Okay, that's okay. We're sold out. I can show you. You're going to think I'm a freak, though, because this is sort of a Frankenstein. If you took my class, you'll know why it looks like that. But yeah, this is the 30 millimeter. So when we make a headline, when we make a title, it's going to be that tall, which is a great size for titles, right? So to show you a trick here, this is a trick that will save you. If you decide you're going to use your big one or a fat one, you need to make it at least 4, if not 5 pin widths high. That's going to determine how big you're going to write at a minimum, because if you were to make a pin scale and make a letter E, and the letter E will tell you how big to make your titles. If you make a letter E only 3 pin widths high, you don't have a letter E. And so what happens a lot of times is we just pick up a pin and we start making a title and we get to the letter E and we go, oh no, what am I going to do? So if you do find yourself doing that, know that I'm watching you. And one of the things that you can do is just draw in the middle part. So you can make it smaller, because what you're trying to do is make sure that you have room for that counter space. If you can make a letter E at that 4 pin widths or higher, then that means you can make a letter S and G. Those are the other trouble letters, because there's all that stuff happening in the letter. All right. What else? Anything else? I will show an S with a big one, but at first I want to show this because, because for those of you that want to know, well, how do you practice? I definitely practice using a hand lettering learning pad. I helped Nolan design this. There's 2 sections in this book. In the front part, it has your baseline, your ascender, your descender line, and your mid height. But in the back, it's got an extra horizontal, actually, it's diagonal to help you with your slope when you go to brush script and sign painter. It also, this is the to-go size. It also comes in flip chart size and has one designed for a big one. So to answer the question, I'm going to put that on there because the table's sticky. To answer the question about a big one letter S, who said that? Do you want that? So this is actually not Nolan. This is my own Nolan Hand 2.0. The Nolan letter S is the easiest, because it's literally a straight line with a couple of bends in it. That's all it is. So what kind of letter S would you like? What does that mean? Oh, okay, so a curvy one. Okay, so if you're gonna do a curvy one, you're gonna have to go bigger. And that you're going to think about the counter space in between. And one thing to remember is if you imagine, say, a snowman, the top part is going to be slightly, oops, I didn't finish that off very well, did I? The top part is going to be slightly smaller than the bottom. So your counter space at the top is going to be smaller. Not true for sign painter. Usually the top is larger. So if I'm going slowly, if I were to do a title with that, what I would do first is draw what's called the spine, and then I would finish it off. But when you say draw a letter S, the reason why I was confused was because it depends on the lettering style, because they're all different. If you look at this one, this one, this one, actually I cheated, that's not an architect letter S because I put a serif on it. And that one, they're all slightly different. Yep. Only a little, because if you had to change markers, you'd really be slowed down. But if you're making, I've just made that first stroke, you're right there to make the next one. Yeah. But if it feels like it's slowing down, it's actually one of the fastest ways to get bold. I can't think of a faster way. The reason why I teach Nolan Hand and brush letter is because I'm hoping that you're going to develop some eye-hand coordination so that you can do pen manipulation. Pen manipulation is important because you're going to have control over the marker. As soon as you guys all master Nolan Hand and brush lettering, I've got a whole bunch more lettering styles for you. But those are the basics so that you can get pen manipulation. When you're doing Nolan Hand, imagine there being a little wheel on both sides of the nib, and you've got to keep both wheels on the road when you're driving. And so you always want this to be a bold letter. So you're constantly, when I do an O, let me get in front of it. When I do an O, I'm thinking, I'm going from 11 to 5, and I'm thinking about that counter space, and you'll notice I'm using my shoulder and my elbow to draw it. And the only reason why I'm going that slow is so that I can make a really nice O, but it's also very humid here, and the marker's really gripping to the paper. Yes. Learn a lettering style, and as soon as you learn the letters, put them into words. As soon as you can make words, put them into a project. Make a studio piece, even if you're just doing a couple of headlines on flip charts like agenda or something like that. Put it to work right away. Do not make an entire page full of letters, and don't ever write a letter more than 3 times if you're not getting it, because you're actually building bad muscle memory. I don't know what you're seeing online, but this whole page full of letters, it's never worked for me. It's not the way I was taught. So that's rote. And the best way to practice letters is in relationship with one another. So put them into words right away. So you just need to spend more time with it. Become friends. Yep. All right? Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody. If you have any more questions, thank you. Thank you.